everybody, welcome to Lock Pod 420 Day. We're in Michigan. Before you freak out, we are in Michigan celebrating 420 season 9 premiere.
Happy 420, everybody!
At the John-Cantrell residence.
Thank you to Cantrell for getting providing Cantrell family for providing us this location in Michigan, safely in Michigan. You okay?
That's right.
Oh, this is gonna be a great show. As you can see, you just saw Tom and John smoking a big joint for the last 7 minutes. So we're gonna have a real good show.
So anyway, hey, before you leave, before you turn us off, don't turn us off.
This is a cliffhanger.
We are going to do our first set of ads, not now, in a little bit. And then when we come back from our first set of ads, we're going to announce Saturday night at Festival of Lakes.
And it's a big announcement.
It's honestly huge. Like, I was impressed.
I think it's the biggest act we've ever announced. I say that every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big act. Let's put it that way.
But, I mean, honestly, big act, that's in the eye of the beholder, right? So it might be bigger to others.
If you're a rap aficionado and you're going to know exactly what we're talking about, and you're going to say, oh, shit, when you hear it. Something like that. You'll be like,
I can't believe they got that person for Festival of
Okay,
Lakes.
but
that's what you're going to say. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
You're going to say, oh, shit, I can't believe they got somebody like that for the Festival of
I
Lakes.
feel like I'm in a hot box right now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me
Can you
talking.
contact that?
We'll find out.
Hey,
by the way,
what?
You have a haircut you need to explain.
Oh, thank you. Karina Almaraz, her family, thank you to everybody that helped donate. We talked about it on our last episode of season 8. I got my haircut. We did it online. Some of you may have saw it. But $15,000 we raised for her family. 100% of all profits went to her family. Wow. So she's battling Hodgkin's lymphoma, and all of us came together. Lockpod, Northwest Indiana came together, and her family is a beneficiary of that.
Like, that's like $15, $20 at a time for $15,000.
Yeah.
So many people gave. It was amazing and impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, there were small donations all the way up to large ones, and I think they all added up to a huge amount. So that's awesome.
And I got a new haircut,
which you don't mind to do every year for a good cause.
I don't ever say that because people won't donate.
Have you ever got cut like a big old cut? I noticed Dean Button, his head is ripped up right now. He must have hit something.
No. But I have scars that you can see when you shave it down. I got a wreck when I was a kid and had scars. But anyway, I'm sure you're really interested in that.
This is 2 weeks in.
2 weeks in. But hey, it is 420 Day.
Yes.
Sort of holiday.
It is for some,
right? It's a holiday for me and John.
Yep. It is. And I like it. And this is a sad comment on society, but it is a day where a lot of people get arrested. So it's not only a holiday, but it's a really busy.
Good for your business.
It is.
Good for biz.
It is.
They get arrested for.
I mean, cops know this is International Weed Smoking Day, and it's a holiday, and so they're...
It's like Christmas for stoners. Why would cops do that, man?
I mean, because they think it's easy
in Indiana.
Easy prey.
And Hammond cops don't do that. Let's just be honest, okay?
Well,
they're not looking for it. They're not looking for it.
Say for sure.
Okay. I wouldn't test that theory, though.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Again, there's a disclaimer. You still might get arrested in any city in Indiana on 420. Maybe not Marion County. Maybe not Marion County.
Is a law office of Cantrell and Cantrell open on 420 Day?
Yeah, for sure. It's a really busy day. We're trying to get people out of jail all that day.
Because you guys specialize in criminal law, it makes sense. Right? You gotta be at the ready.
Everybody, gets arrested, but they still want to celebrate that day. So it's like time is of the essence. And them getting out of jail.
Homeboy Kevin Smith never shuts down Smith-Sursick ever on holidays. So I guarantee you on 420 Day, Smith-Sursick's open, right?
You're open at 420 Day.
Dude, they were open on MLK Day, and I was very offended about that. They were open on Good Friday, right?
I don't understand how the city of Hammond is closed on Good Friday, but that's just me.
We're closed we recognize a lot of different, religions and nationalities. Hey, John.
Are you closed for the month of Ramadan?
No.
Are you closed for Passover?
No.
Maybe we shouldn't wade into these waters.
We're closed for Columbus Day. Yes.
The Italians?
Yeah. St. Patrick's Day?
We're open.
Open, right? How about Juneteenth? Closed.
We're open.
No, this is the real test. If he is a slave driver, are you open on Christmas Eve? No. Okay.
No.
Okay.
Not open.
No.
So, okay, that's good. So a lot of people take half day on Christmas Eve.
We do it.
I think we're open half day on New Year's
We do
Eve.
Christmas Eve off.
Half day, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right.
Half day. Half day.
Yeah. Come to work for the city of Hammond. That's the moral of the story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that is, just being honest, that is a perk that I think government employees have. I mean, you guys have a lot of holidays, which is great.
I talk about it when we hire people.
And nobody has to work. Nobody has to work on holidays because a lot of people, I mean, they miss. Do you want to work on Christmas or Christmas Eve? You pick one.
You take most of the holidays if the courts are closed, though, right, John?
For sure.
Well, see, like for us, so like just like private business, I think, for example, like President's Day or MLK Day or like Labor Day, it's like people that do work, they'll say, "Hey, can I come in on Monday? Are you open?" Because they're not working, they can come in and see their lawyer. So it's for it's also like we're in a building right now with a dentist. The dentist is crazy busy on holidays.
Right.
They can bring their kids
That's
off
true.
school,
That's true.
bring their kids in, so.
But that's the best part about going to the dentist is missing school.
So all this stuff doesn't belong to us, by the way. We were given props for the show. I don't want you to think we have a problem.
I
We just wanted to show you.
Don't need it.
I thought it was nice. Like, this joint that we were smoking has like a really nice end. It was given to us by
filter.
Yeah, a filter. It was given to us by Glacier, which is very nice.
By the way, speaking of Glacier, at the
Glacier Cannabis.
Glacier Cannabis at the end of this, at the tail end of the show, we're going to have an interview with Andrew Serino, who is the president and CEO of Cannabis, to talk about the cannabis industry in Michigan as it relates to other states.
Yeah, great. It's a great interview, by the way. We did that one before we watched y'all. So we got crazy stuff here. The edibles, you'll see a lot of these in Michigan where we are right now. These are 20 milligrams. It's something for you all to consider. 20 milligrams are pretty heavy, so a lot of people bite these in half. 10 milligrams is usually a standard dose. Some people eat the whole 20, bite them in half though, right, John?
No, start with like 2.5. I'll start with 2.5 the first day.
Yeah, whatever.
5,
Whatever.
maybe 5.
Dude, I have a friend that almost overdosed on her and
Right?
yeah.
On weed?
Like I don't know. What they did is it's something you have to be very careful with.
Sure.
Edibles are very strong. It's like it would be hard to smoke yourself to death, but you can eat an edible and you'll have to go to the emergency room.
When edibles first came out, weren't they like unregulated, like in the sense
Yeah,
of like
you
they
would have
didn't
no idea.
have
You would have no
milligrams, right?
You would have no
But
idea.
see,
what it was.
that's one of the beauties of marijuana being legal and THC products.
Mhm.
Because, like, let's say you had a hippie friend. She's like, "Oh, my nana, she made these
Yeah.
Rice Krispie treats," and you're like, "Well, how much should I eat?" She's like, "Oh, eat half," but you
Like brownies.
You mix half and you go to sleep.
and then
You go to sleep for 3 days.
Yeah,
if you eat half, right?
but it's also like kind of entrapment because if you get a full Rice Krispie treat and then you eat half of it, you see a Rice Krispie treat, you're going to forget that you shouldn't be eating it because you're going to see Rice Krispie treat because you're super hungry, and then you might go to the hospital.
Yeah, but-
so when this directions on here is super easy. It tells you how many milligrams. It even suggests that you should make first timers should eat half.
This one that says high dose on it.
Yes,
It's like high dose is 20 milligrams.
Mhm.
And for
Don't take
if you
20.
don't, I would not start with 20 milligrams. These are pretty heavy.
Yeah, so I think that's the point, right? Is if you're trying this for the first time, you definitely want to either consult with somebody that you buy it from at a dispensary in a legal state, or
It's like
consult with somebody that's used them before.
what do they call it? Sommeliers with wine. I mean, the
Yeah.
butt tenders. That's a
I wonder if they call it a weed. Is it a weed
They do.
sommelier?
They
Edible
call it
sommelier.
the butt tenders. I'm telling
Wow, bud
you.
tender.
The nicer
The
places
bud
you go
tenders.
to, especially when you go to California.
I
where
like
they
that.
sell- They're like literally like sommeliers when it comes
Bud
to weed.
tenders.
But they'll like talk to you if you're nervous about it. They're super cool. Like it's like going to an Apple store. These places are really nice.
Yes, it's like a spa, and like if you really sit down and talk to somebody that knows a lot about their products, they will tell you the weed that people used to smoke in like the 70s and 80s and 90s, and even like the early 2000s. They're smoking like 4-year-old weed. By the time it comes here and gets to the consumer, it's so dry and it's not potent. The stuff you can get nowadays is so much more
And
potent.
everybody can select, right? Like what kind you want. Do you want something that's going to put you to sleep? Do you want something that's going to, kind of level you out?
Yeah. The ones they have these that are blue. It's they got CBN in it. It's CBD that puts you to sleep. So they they give you like a indica, which makes you tired, and a CBN.
Mhm.
Night.
Yep.
You take a half of one of those, you sleep 8 hours, like deep sleep.
But if you are just worried about like how many calories you're consuming in alcohol on a given Saturday night, or how much you're going to spend on a given Saturday night,
Don't you show our friends?
So you can just drink water.
What is this thing? For those of you at home that are listening, it's a squeeze bottle with what, John?
You squeeze it. It's just you put 5 milligrams of THC into a bottle of
Does
water.
it taste like anything?
It's sweet.
Okay, that's
You can
good.
put it in iced tea. You can
That's
put
all
it
you
in
put.
a
That's
bong
five.
serving.
That's 5 milligrams.
Yeah.
It's the same every time.
Yeah, it's kind of like similar to, if you drank that, it would be similar to like drinking a beer. You drink a...
Why is it bubbling?
Because you just put THC right there.
Because it's no longer just water.
Yeah, you can taste it.
Yeah, well, you
What's
can
it taste
taste
like?
it. It tastes
It tastes
sweet.
like. Yeah,
Does it taste bad?
Tastes like
His face didn't look.
I like water better. I'll be
It's like the
honest.
water in the bong.
I'd rather it does
It's
not taste like
it's like
bong
bong
water.
water.
It does not taste like bong water. Freaking horrible.
No, it's just artificial.
Yeah, it tastes like shit. I'll be honest with you. It gets you high, but you never finish it. That's the problem.
Well, I mean,
Oh.
you have a sensitive palate. You really do.
I do have a sensitive palate. But yeah, I was going back to earlier though. I know a friend of mine that they, a couple of friends of mine that decided together they were going to get one of these candy bars. So they go to a
That's a
dispensary.
candy bar?
No, this is not a candy bar. They go to the dispensary. They get a candy bar, edible candy bar,
Okay.
200 milligrams, right? And they were like, they didn't know what the fuck. they were doing.
200? So wait, so that would
This
be
is
like
200
10 of
milligrams.
these.
Oh
This-
my God.
So
Yes.
this is 200 milligrams.
Uh-huh.
This is 20 milligrams. I could take that, but if I did, I'd go 9. Okay?
10 of those?
So basically, they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. So they get this candy bar,
That's apparent.
and it's got the same amount of it's THC as this that you have to take in 10 different doses, and they ate it all in one dose. Husband and wife,
That
they
sounds
just decided to
bad.
pound this thing down.
That sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think they enjoyed their experience.
No, they needed a bud
should've
bud
went to
tender.
hospital.
They needed a bud tender, is
They
what
should
they
have went to
needed.
the hospital.
They needed a bud tender. is
What were
they
the
needed.
symptoms?
I think the symptom is I'm freaking dying.
It
I think
sounds
that's
like
the
a
symptom. I'm
that sounds
dying.
like a blast.
Yeah, no, I would not ever freaking take an edible myself if I felt that way. That's not the way you do it.
It would be vertigo times 27.
Yeah,
Oh, God, that sounds
It would be
terrible.
real.
yeah, like
Yeah.
should I go to the hospital kind of stuff. And there's a lot of people that overdose on edibles and end up in the hospital. So I would recommend highly if you're gonna do edibles, you know what the hell you're doing.
Take
Don't
course.
really- that's the most dangerous type of weed you could do, right, Don? Is it edible?
Every single person in America knows a stoner. Ask a stoner to take you to a dispensary and
Yes.
help you through the process.
Stoners are nice people,
Yeah, they are.
from what I heard.
And they want to be
You take me to
ambassadors of
Would you,
THC.
Mr. Stoner friend, would you take me to the dispensary with you?
I just turned it.
How about this one right here? So I would help you, Kevin. I would not let you eat that candy bar. This is a battery. On the bottom is a battery. And then what they sell now is these cartridges. It's a vape. And basically, they're all universal. So you get all pretty much the same size. These vapes in Michigan will run you like $50. And it'll last you 2 weeks.
I feel like we're in like some sort of like how to become
It's
a...
420 day.
Yeah.
That's right. I love it.
It's 420 day.
But so-
I'm trying to help.
I just remember always
Just
doing
trying
this
to
in a
help.
state where it's legal.
Don't do it in Indiana.
That's why we're in
They
Michigan
will
right
beat
now.
you down and throw you in prison. We're in Michigan.
Yeah.
That's like Michigan right there. We were supposed to be outside today.
That is not Wolf Lake.
That is not Wolf Lake.
That is-
But see, the point is, Tom is trying to make this more mainstream. And if you're trying to get people to do it and you're trying to encourage usage, you want to educate people. You know, like if you're going to spend Saturday and get drunk, you're going to go on and spend $50. Or you can, take an edible and spend $3 on a better buzz.
How about
I mean,
this,
one of
John? This thing is a trip. Like,
There's
No.
more- I was like,
No.
what's next?
no. The thing about this that sort of blows me away. This sort of just came out lately. These types of. This is a disposable, so it's got the cartridge in it. Okay, and it comes out, it's fully charged, and John will smoke it down, and when it's gone, you just freaking pitch the whole thing.
Breeze. Breeze.
But the whole thing is the battery and the vape cartridge all in one thing. So you buy the whole unit. So you don't have a battery at this. You just pitch it when you're done.
If you're going to go to Chicago for dinner and you are trying to go to a dispensary in Cal City and you buy this, you use it for the whole night, or if you're going to spend the night in Chicago, you use it for the weekend and then you throw it away. It's disposable.
Yep. You don't have to worry about getting busted.
Have it on you.
Yeah, you just get rid of it. So
Right.
there are tools that you can, and that Indiana, the fact that it's illegal in Indiana, they make you do these things that make things more difficult.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons, I chose this shirt for a reason, because it brought me back to the campaign and just remembering about how Tom, one of the issues he brought up, and one of the reasons he made it an issue is because he knows at the end of the day, if it's all regulated and it's all legal and it allows agricultural money to come, it allows consumers to have choice and to not have to worry about buying it off the street. That's a good thing for, I think, everyone because it's happening and it's everywhere.
Yep.
And so I know like last 420 we were filming that commercial, right? And that was like, oh my god, they're filming a weed commercial. But I think at the end of the day, even though like you didn't win the election, that brought that issue up.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna, I know in the next part of the show we're gonna talk about how Indiana basically screwed it up again.
Mm-hmm.
But
There's so many more people who are using marijuana and THC now. You can go to dispensaries, but also the pandemic when nobody could leave the house. There's so many more people who use marijuana, and people use it illegally. Trust me, like I come across all these people, and the amount of marijuana users in Lake County has doubled because of the pandemic.
Well, and
Everybody
because of
tries
being
it.
close to Illinois and Michigan,
Yes,
and the fact that like you can legally get it across the border now.
yeah, and they all want to use it and try it. So this is a way bigger issue than people realize, because so many more people think it's crazy that this is not illegal. And I know everybody in this room had a bunch of people talking to us and coming after the commercial was shot, and after 400,000 people saw the commercial, we're like, hey, like, it's cool, thank you. And other people were like, you know what, I don't think marijuana's so bad. I want to try it sometime. So
And as
like,
Tom said,
I lost that
all your
race.
stoner friends vote.
Yeah,
They must
they
have been
forgot.
sleeping.
They forgot.
they forgot.
Yeah.
But you know what? Like you have to put in the time, and like all dispensaries and all smoke shops need to have voter registration forms, because
Agreed.
Yeah, that's the only way it's going to change.
You guys want to hear a funny freaking story?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with weed. This is hilarious. It happened to me while I was on break. Okay, so it has a little bit to do with weed. I'll just let your mind wander. Okay,
Okay.
but like, let's just say this is the day I get shaved for the fundraiser.
Right.
So I am freshly shaved. And my head is like, I have not hair in my head. It's super white because I just got shaved, right? So I'm starving. Was it Good Friday or is it a week before Good Friday? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I gotta get some food. I'm talking to Marissa. She's like, let's get a pizza. It's during Lent. So I'm like, I'll order some Domino's. Order Domino's. So easy. You go to Domino's. You order on the app. You shoot over to Domino's. They run it right out to your car. And so Marissa's like, honey, you want me to go get the pizza because you look like crap. She was like trying to be nice. I'm like, honey, I'm going to Domino's. I got a hat on. No big deal, right? I'm just going to go over there. So I go over there.
And they bring the pizza out.
They bring the pizza out. And I've got my donkey pants on. That's the worst part of the story.
I've seen those. They're like pajamas.
They're literally pajamas. Like, literally, they leave nothing.
They're great, though. Like Democrat donkey.
Democrat
They're
donkey.
great.
I call them my donkey pants. It's like underwear. Like, literally, I'm wearing underwear, right? But who cares?
Well, they're not like short. They're long.
They're long. They're donkey pants.
Yeah.
But they're like underwear. I don't go out in public with these, right? You haven't
Wait a
seen
minute, they're like
pajamas. They're not like tight long underwear.
donkeys. They're like donkeys all over.
Yeah,
right?
they're like flannel.
They're underwear, dude.
Okay.
So I'm wearing underwear and I got like a Hammond Central hoodie on and I'm bald as balls could get. Just got shaved, right? Bald as balls, right? Literally just get
There's
shaved.
the episode.
So
There's the
bald as
title.
balls. There you go. It always works that way. So I go, Marissa's like, honey, you sure you don't want me to get? I'm like, baby, I got this. I'll get dinner for the family. I'm the man, right? So I go there and I fucking fucked up the app right off the bat. I get in the car and the one that says I'm here?
Yeah.
That's important.
Very important.
If you go off that screen, you can't get back on that screen. I learned the hard way.
This is
So I'm like, I fucked it up. I'll be honest with you. And I'm like, oh shit. I
Wait,
can't push
you
I'm
still
here.
ordered the pizza.
I ordered the pizza and it was ready. And I had to get there, but
But you
I had
didn't
to
have
tell them
the-
I was ready. So I'm like, I can't push. I'm here. So I'm like, okay, I can't go in there. I got my freaking underwear on, right? So I'm like, okay. I'll
Wait, so let me just get straight. I want to get the outfit straight. So first of all, Marissa offered to go. You said no, I got it.
Yeah.
And you're wearing your pajama pants.
Yeah.
Donkeys.
Uh-huh.
What about t-shirt or what? Like
Just like a hoodie.
A hoodie?
And bald, no hat. Because I wasn't going in. They were
Okay.
running out to me.
I got it. All right.
So I'm like, I'm so
slippers.
slippers. Yeah, slippers.
Is this what you wear in the evening?
This is like 5 p.m. I was
Okay.
not going out again. This is like 5
Alright,
p.m.
okay.
Like everybody else is like still in work clothes, and I've got my underwear.
Your,
okay?
your plan was eat the pizza.
I'm
hang
not
out,
going
go to
out. I'm
sleep.
bald as hell. I just
Yeah.
got shaved.
That's
I'm
right.
freaking loyal.
But aren't you
right?
worried about somebody dropping by?
Nobody's gonna drop by, right? I don't
You
know.
have drop-offs?
Not really.
No,
Not really.
okay.
Not really. So anyway, so I go out there
Retire.
and I fucked up the I'm here,
Right.
which is critical. If you can't fuck up the I here, I
Because
did.
then you got to go in.
But I was like, oh, I can't go in. So I'm like, I'll call them, right?
That is so...
So like, don't ever call Domino's. If you deal with Domino's and do it by app, it works
Yeah.
perfectly.
Mhm.
If you're trying to go through the phone, freaking luck,
I
right?
agree.
It's like, I think you have more,
Yeah.
you can go through AT&T easier, right?
Wow.
So I'm like, dude, I'm in a dilemma. I got to go in and get my pizza, and I'm in my freaking underwear. So I'm like, okay, I got this. I'm going to do it. I'm just going to go in, grab my fucking pizza. It's ready. And then just get out. Nobody's even going to notice. I'm bald. Nobody's going to notice, right? I don't even look like myself. So I'm like, and I just like do it real quick. I go walking up there. I open the door. It's packed. And I'm like, no big deal.
Yes.
So I'm just going to go grab my pizza and get the hell out. I stepped one foot into the store, and this lady, the manager at the pizza place, she knew I was coming because she saw my name. So as soon as I walked in, she goes, Mayor McDermott! Like, as loud as you could get across the entire room.
Which makes everybody turn,
She
right?
doesn't know I'm wearing pajamas, I do, right? So everybody turns, and then she grabs her trainee, says, come meet the mayor! And like comes out, and I am a different color of red that you've ever seen. I am so embarrassed. And I'm like,
That is
and she
awesome.
goes, she was talking to me, and I couldn't hear anything. I was just like, I am in my underwear. I literally said that, and I grabbed my pizza and just left. It was horrible.
A day in the life of Mayor McDermott.
I never.
Like whoever thinks it's all just like
I'm sorry.
glamour and glitz.
I felt so bad because I was not being that. I was not being charming that day.
Well, listen.
I hate to tell you this, but that was on April Fool's.
Oh,
No.
it's on April. Listen, we got a lot to do, especially coming up after ads. We're going to have a huge Festival of Lakes announcement. So
Right
please
after
stay tuned.
ads, when we come back, it's the biggest announcement we've ever made for the Festival of Lakes. Period.
Look
Not
out.
an April Fool's joke.
Whoa.
That's like saying
There's
something.
there's a lot of people that say this is the best act we've ever booked, and I think I agree.
Depending on who you are, but
We'll tell you after the festival's over, but we're going to announce this person when we come back. So let's go ahead and start with some ads. Who wants to do the first
And
one?
thank you to our sponsors for season 9, by the way.
Yeah, season 9, back in business. Let's start with Byway Brewery. Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and an outside patio. Our brewing equipment offers a unique backdrop for your private event like weddings, reunions, or corporate parties. Byway is conveniently located just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Come on by and enjoy Byway's award-winning beers and unbeatable menu. For more information, check out bywaybrewing.beer.
Rogers Roofing. When you want the best for your home and family, trust the best in the business. Rogers Roofing. Rogers Roofing has transformed homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland for more than 54 years, providing quality roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the best warranties in the industry. To learn more and to schedule a free consultation, visit rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 today. That's rogersroofing.com. 219-933-9145. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
So we have a new sponsor, and I have to thank our business manager, Steve Kellogg, for not giving me the correct pronunciation of this. So if I screw this up, we'll give you an extra ad next episode.
That's
I thought you were going to thank him for getting us on.
Yeah.
Like, no, he fucked up.
He didn't give me the correct pronunciation. I'm going to do my best.
Kuklakas.
Kuklakas Law. Right? I think I got that.
Yeah,
So
Kuklakas.
thank you to
I agree.
Kuklakas
Kuklakas.
Law. Are you facing legal challenges and you don't know where to turn? Look no further than Kuklakas Law, your trusted source for legal advice in Indiana and Illinois. Do you need representation buying or selling real estate? Call Kuklakas Law. Do you need help forming your business? Call Kuklakas Law. Did you get injured in a car crash or at your job? Call Kuklakas Law. No matter what your legal issue is, call Kuklakas Law at 219-671-6347. That's 219-671-6347 for a free consultation. And they also speak Spanish.
Hablamos español.
Thank you.
So you're at Smith Sursig
I am.
reading an ad.
I'm
for
just
Smith
undermining my own
Yeah.
business. Yeah, and John
Like-
is we're undermining each
I
other.
like how it worked
Yes.
out.
Sursig. Isn't that incredible?
Yeah, but Steve's making money on it. So as long as that works out for Steve.
Yeah, what country is he in today?
Yeah.
Misprint Printing. Misprint specializes in delivering the highest quality signs and printing on time and under budget. Misprint's experience and technology allows them to offer custom, commercial, on-demand printing, sign solutions, and goddamn
You
right,
just pulled that out of nowhere.
metal
Nice.
business
Why
cards.
did you have that prop with you?
Shatters the table.
Yeah.
Rick
The joint
Baltensberger,
goes flying.
Rick Baltensberger and his team have served Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana markets for over 30 years. They have 2 convenient locations to serve you in Munster and in Hammond. And I'm about $15,000 deep in the misprint in this election season already, so
Nice.
I put my money where my
You
mouth
don't even
is.
have an
And
opponent.
I'm not even running. Yeah.
Wow.
So, Johnny?
Prestonmer Insurance Company. The Ron J. Prestonmer Insurance Agency has been located for decades right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. They specialize in a wide variety of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much, much more. The Pressemer Agency serves over 1,000 people and businesses in Chicagoland and all over the Midwest. Call Ron, Ronnie, or Michael at 219-844-0103.
Okay,
Thanks to our sponsors, and we are back.
we are back. Thanks to our sponsors, and we're not gonna make you wait anymore. You've been dealing with our shenanigans, the 420, smoking, edibles, the stupid water thing. We've done it all, right?
Weed 101.
Still, we haven't done the corn cob pipe yet. The corn cob pipe. We have a mysterious a helper off camera who cannot be revealed
What the hell is
for purposes of they may work in the judicial system, they may not.
It's not, and it is not Kyle the intern.
It is not Kyle the
It's not.
intern. Thank you,
Mysterious.
gentlemen. Gentlemen. That's all I'm going to give you, though.
That's it.
All right, I think you said you weren't waiting.
I know. I didn't. This is some janky ass bullshit right here. All right. Here we go.
Yeah.
I think the
We're
person.
not waiting.
We're not waiting, but let me like
Hold
this.
on, let me try like this twice.
A corn.
Have you ever heard of Conway Twitty?
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
Have you ever heard of his nephew Carl?
No.
That's who's headlining Saturday night. Carl Twitty. He's great, dude. You're gonna love him.
Everyone just turned off the show.
I'm just kidding. It's not April Fool's.
Who is it?
That
Who
is
is
not
it?
our
Who is
announcement.
No, it's April. No, it's
Is it-
20.
It's 420.
It's not April.
This is who's gonna. This is gonna blow your mind. This is not a joke.
You already let out with a joke. Are you sure this is
This is
for
the real thing. The Saturday night, July 15th. The rapper Lil Wayne is coming to Hammond, Indiana, to headline the Festival of the Lake.
Yes.
That is no bullshit. That is no joke.
That's a huge act.
Rap icon Lil Wayne will headline the Festival of the Lakes on Saturday, July 15th, with Wheezy's mega biggest hits like Love Me, Emily, and Lollipop. It's sure to be an unforgettable evening with one of rap's most influential artists of all time. Kevin, you want to talk a little bit about? I just want to start off and say we expect this show to sell out. We don't say that very often. We've had a couple of situations where we probably should have sold it out. This is going to sell out. We're just selling it.
Yes. Yeah.
And I would not wait back and expect to walk in on the day of the show. Kevin,
Well, not only that, you won't be able to.
it's not going to be able to for this show. Festival of Lakes, for every other show,
Just the show.
this show is different. I'm just telling you straight up. This is going to be treated differently than Friday night, Sunday night, Monday, and Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, I think it's, because of high demand and because Lil Wayne is just so amazing of an artist to have at the festival, the team, like special events team and those that are organizing festival, along with Mayor who agreed to do this, have changed Saturday night to a ticketed event only. So, and that's
Sort of
because
like
high
the
demand.
Porter County Fair.
Sure,
So
exactly.
like the Lake County Fair with the big acts. This is an act that, so like festival usually gets acts, here. This is an act up here, and then the acts that play United Center are up here. This is above where we normally hit.
So the
We're bridging
important
the
part
gap.
here,
I'd like to see this become permanent.
yeah, exactly. And I think the important part to remember is, and the reason we want to bring this up, you hear a lot about this on social media as we get closer, but it's a different model for this night. Every other night, you can still come with your family for free, get in, no problem. But for Saturday, July 15th, you must have a ticket to be admitted to the Festival of the Lakes for the Saturday, July 15th, 2023 Lil Wayne event. Persons without tickets will not be admitted to the festival grounds, including the carnival for the Saturday Lil Wayne event. You have to go to festivaloflakes.com, and tickets are on sale now, or very close to now, for $125 plus taxes and fees. And these get access to
$125.
Yep.
Lil Wayne just played Chicago a couple weeks ago. The lowest level ticket you can get for that show is $200.
That's right.
And this is $125 plus fees, so it's like $145 at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
You can stand next to the stage for that.
Parking's not going up. It's the same as every night.
Which is
$30.
parking's $30. Okay.
And that's huge and these are tickets that are going to get access to the gold section, bathrooms and bars, and also will be closest to the stage. $125 to get you there, and we're going to sell as many of those as we can. And Mayor, do you want to talk about the other option that may be out there for certain residents?
We have we're going to have 15,000 people on this venue, which is going to be less crowded than it was last year at the Rick Ross concert, which we reevaluated our model after Rick Ross. It was a little too big. It was a little too big. Nothing happened, thankfully, that night, but we were all a little uncomfortable with how crowded it was. which is why we think
And
Lil
you
Wayne's
have to
going to
turn people away.
and Lil Wayne's going to be bigger than Rick Ross. That's the thing.
So right, don't come on Lil Wayne night if you don't have a ticket, because you will not be admitted, and you may just blow $30 on parking.
There'll be 15,000 tickets given out for this night. 2,000 of them are going to be for free. We're gonna detail down the road how you can get free tickets. You have to be a Hammond resident for that. Hammond residents will have an opportunity to get up to 2 free tickets per household residence. You can do whatever you want with those. You can go to the show. You can sell them. You can do whatever you want with those 2,000. 13,000 tickets. We expect to sell those. They're going to be 125 level tickets, and then we're going to come out with a 75 level ticket also.
That's only if they don't sell. We have every belief that the $125 tickets are going to sell.
And if they do, then there won't be a 75 level ticket. So we expect this to sell out. I wouldn't wait till the day of the concert to try to. I wouldn't wait till the week of the concert. They're going on sale later on today, and we would get them right away.
Yeah, so go to festivaltolakes.com, because there's no guarantee that a free general admission ticket will be available. And to ensure your admittance, tickets will be available pretty much right now for purchase at festivaltolakes.com. So go to festivaltolakes.com right now for all your festival information and to buy these Lil Wayne tickets. They're going to go fast.
I thought it was really appropriate to announce Lil Wayne's concert on 420 Day. It's under 420 Day show. So we waited. I want to thank Lil Wayne for believing in our festival, to put us on. This is his tour that he's on, and he's coming to Hammond, Indiana, which blows my mind.
Yeah, it's great. We have a really good relationship through an agent, to Lil Wayne, and it was great.
Mm-hmm. I think when you look at what we're doing with the fest this year on Saturday, if you take a big picture look at what's going on with the fest, I'm hoping every year we could do this. Now we can start making Saturday a concert. So maybe this year it's rap. Maybe next year we have a major rock and roll act or a major country act that you wouldn't expect, like a band that's so far up there.
It helps you reach something that has been unattainable.
That's right.
That has to be exciting for you guys, like seeing what else you can get, because you're just going to keep trying to take it bigger and bigger.
And just remember, you've announced already Brothers Osborne, you've announced Stone Temple Pilots, you've announced El Flaco, and those are 3 nights. You haven't announced Wednesday. We're going to announce Wednesday at our Tuesday show. But for all those shows, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, you can still come for free if you want to hang out in the general admission area. You can still buy your VIP experience passes at festivalakes.com. But just remember, just Saturday is the ticketed show. You can't show up Saturday without a ticket. Every other night,
so if you show up,
regular
if you show up Friday to see Stone Temple Pilots on the day of the show, you can get in and watch the show. If you show up Saturday to see Lil Wayne without a ticket, you're not going to be able to get in.
Turned away.
You can wait across the street and listen to the concert, but you're not going to get into the venue. There's going to be 15,000 people in there, and it's going to be competitive to get those tickets. So
that's
very happy. Thank you, Lil Wayne. Thank you for choosing Hammond. Thank you to everybody that supports the festival. Let's hope that this is a success, so that next year we have an artist that blows everybody's mind again. And every year the festival could get, one day it would be great to have a festival like a 5-day Lollapalooza, where it's just 5 amazing bands. People from all over the Midwest are coming to our shows. That should be what we're striving for, and this is our step in that direction. So thanks to Lil Wayne and thanks for letting us announce it on 420, Lil Wayne. We appreciate it.
Since it's 420 Day, and we mentioned that we're going to have a really good interview with Andrew Serino, who's the CEO of Glacier Cannabis here in Michigan. I thought it was appropriate that we talk about how Indiana has once again made itself into and proven itself to be behind the times regarding what's going on in the country as it relates to marijuana. And it really just is hurting the Hoosier economy at the end of the day.
We asked Andrew about this article. So, we already cut that. You're going to go to that interview after we get done with this part. But we literally brought this up. Is Indiana, is it too late for us? Did we miss out on the huge investment? So
yeah, and he said, it's interesting, right? Because there's a different components to the marijuana industry. There's the retail, and there's all about licensing and equity and licensing and things like that. And you're going to hear about the Michigan model from Andrew as well as versus Illinois. There you go. This looks very exciting. And the other thing that you have to remember is the agricultural element of it, and that's the cultivation,
yes,
which is what Andrew does.
Which is what they do, right? Which is the growing.
Yeah, and and the way and what the mayor asked was, has Indiana are they behind the times that they missed out? And part of that discussion is, yeah, they have, because there's so much supply, in other areas, including the state of Michigan. So
this is the craziest. block cut episode ever.
For some of us, it is. Yes.
I mean, this is crazy for you too.
Sitting here thinking, what is life?
What is life? Yeah, there's just people coughing all around me.
It's 420.
But
By the way, Lockpot, we do this twice a week, so make sure you check
not
it out.
this.
It's twice a week. It's 420 day. But we do, follow us and like us and do all that stuff. And I'm sure you'll read about it in the newspaper if we do our job the right way.
The interesting thing about what Indiana did, and so there's Justin Mowat, who's a friend of Mayor's, friend of mine, and is a great state rep. So the marijuana bill in the state house was going nowhere. Big surprise. Didn't get a committee hearing, didn't get anything else. He threw an amendment in that basically would have redefined hemp to legalize marijuana. Mm-hmm. And of course, guess what happened? It failed. It was a cool move.
Yeah.
But he wanted to just push it, right? Like, let's push it.
Mm-hmm.
Failed. The amendment failed, which basically, again, said to Indiana and said to Hoosiers that want to legalize marijuana, sorry, not this year. So I think Minority Leader Gia Quinta out of Fort Wayne, also a friend of yours and a friend of the show's, said that not only will legalizing of marijuana brought Indiana into the 21st century and boosted our economy, it will help Hoosiers, current and prospective, who could have benefited from the legal use of medical marijuana. So, I mean, I think it just goes to show you that there is a group of legislators who want to make this legal, but there's nowhere near a majority. And so Indiana sits behind the times, making all its surrounding states, Illinois and Michigan, where it's legal.
So when will it be legal in Indiana?
Last.
Yeah, what are they waiting on? What's
Maybe
the issue?
maybe it becomes legal federally.
But let's think about politically. We got a governor's race.
Holcomb said no.
Holcomb, so he's not doing anything. And then if Braun seems to be the favorite. He's got the most money. He's a U.S. senator and he wants to run for governor.
I wasn't laughing that he's a favorite. I'm laughing like he's never going to legalize marijuana.
So if this guy's the governor, there's no way in hell he's going to do it. And the General Assembly doesn't seem inclined to go that direction either. So while Michigan and Wisconsin and Illinois and California and Oregon and all these states reap billions of dollars in investment, hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes and fees, we're sitting here like idiots in Indiana, and all this investment's leaving our state. It's never going to come here. And we asked Andrew this question because he knows it. He has huge grow houses. Now think about it. If you have a huge grow house and weed is legalized, do you think they're going to build another grow house in Indiana? Or are they just going to send us their weed?
Well, I think it's just another thing, when you talk about states competing for talent, right? You see that like Indiana has taken stances against the LGBTQ community now, and they've taken stances against the marijuana community. And if you're like a, young professional and you're looking for a place to go work and maybe you smoke weed, are you going to be like, how far is Indianapolis from a place where I can buy my weed legally or can I even smoke it at my house?
Like an hour and a half.
No. So it's like, I think the point is that it's just one more check against the state when you're competing with neighboring states for talent.
But at the same time, so that example, Indiana Republicans are all over the place because you've got Young voting to codify gay marriage, the LGBT, but then they're against the weed legalization. They are all over the map. All over.
Think about this when you're trying to predict the future about Indiana. How long and how crazy of a fight did we have to put up with to legalize alcohol on Sunday?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Great point, John.
Like this film.
And I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars we miss out on that, on sales on Sunday.
Yeah, I was going to Lansing to buy liquor on Sunday.
Ridge
at
Road,
Santori
in
Liquor.
Lansing.
Till I was like 45 years old.
I mean, this episode is really similar to the plot in Footloose. Like, we just had to come over the border to have our little studio shoot
Think about that.
across the border. Yeah, we cleaned it up. We got rid of all the flour, and we had prom here.
Thank you. Thank you again to Cantrell.
This makes
Cantrell.
By the way, we do have, all of us have independent drives, so I wanted to point that out. So
But, I mean, it's crazy that we have to do this. Like,
Yeah.
we're grown adults.
we had to drive and to have this episode. We can't do it in your office.
Nope.
So we had to drive to Michigan.
Yeah,
So that
if it
we
was
could shoot
legal,
this
you wouldn't be
episode.
doing this in my
And we
house.
bought, like, everything that you see here is, you could buy easily right now, right down the street, less than a mile away. Dispensary
Even
right
this
here.
popcorn? Is this popcorn? Do you just munch on this while you're watching
It looks
the
like it's 5 years
200
old.
milligrams, John. Let's see what happens.
New Buffalo is getting a place, even like they have a dispensary, and you can drive there, and they have indoor and outdoor cafe where you can go there, buy the stuff, and just like having coffee.
Not in Indiana, buddy. We
Not
don't want that in
Yeah,
Indiana.
right off the expressway. That's not going to make any money and improve the tax base here at all.
Well, listen, we're going to wrap up at least this part of the show. Stay tuned for the Andrew Serino interview, which is right up. It's really, really
This is a great interview, guys. You definitely want to stay for this. This guy is University of Michigan, chemical engineer, became a CEO of a cannabis company. And he's super smart, super cool. And I tell you, I think we're getting pretty good at doing interviews because that was a good interview. So it's definitely worth sticking around. So we're going to do some ads and we're going to roll right into the interview with Andrew Serino from Glacier Cannabis. So let's start off with Calumet Brewing. Whether you're on the golf course or just spending a day in the sun, Michelob Ultra with only 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and 4.2 ABV is the perfect beer for a summer day. Michelob Ultra brews a light lager that's worth every single sip. So no matter if you're kicking back after a long workout, a pickup game at the park, or a day out on the fairways, you're sure to enjoy this great light beer. Don't just drink it, enjoy it. Head over to Cal Brew on Facebook and find the golf bag post for your chances to win through May 12th. You can also head over to Michelob Ultra websites and social media pages for details on this great family of beers. This is a long ad.
Yeah, well,
It's a very long
the
ad.
golf
I'm not
bag.
done yet. Enjoy the Ultra lifestyle and beers with cheers responsibly.
Steve wrote
They should
that,
pay
but-
double.
Yes,
That's
well, there is
That's a good ad.
actually, we are going to have a photo of the golf bag you can win soon enough. So
Oh, okay.
Steve and John are working on that.
All right, cool.
All right. Bug guy pest control. Warmer temperatures mean unwanted guests, such as ants, spiders, wasps, mosquitoes, and more. Shut down their party before they get started. A comprehensive pest plan from the Bug Guy will help you enjoy the great outdoors as well as the indoors all summer long. To solve your pest problem or start a preventative plan, call the Bug Guy today and tell the pest he's on the way. Call Brian at 219-810-7481. That's 219-810-7481. And Brian, number one, is a good guy. He does my pest control, and I need to call him. So
I gotta call him too.
Yep.
Do you
Same
recommend
thing.
him? Highly
I
recommend him?
totally recommend him. By the way, it's a great example of a fireman that has a side gig when he's not working. So he does, really good. Good deal.
Powering America, looking for a new career in 2023? Earn a competitive wage while you gain valuable hands-on experience as an electrician. Did we mention employer-paid benefits including health insurance, pension, and an annuity? If so, visit jact697.org. Sponsored by Powering America.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine throughout the Midwest. Look for Tortilla Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store. Yeah! Enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise. Happy 420 Day, everybody. Coming up right after this, Andrew Serino from Glacier Cannabis. Andrew, how you doing, bud?
Doing great. Thanks for having me. I hope you all are enjoying your 420.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy it a little bit more after the show. But I just want to say thanks to coming on here and continuing with the tradition. We started the show off at a cabin in Michigan, and here we are finishing off with the president and owner of a cannabis company.
Back where, we're Andrew's where it's legal, we're now where it's illegal.
That's right.
So, Andrew, number one, it's really an honor to have you on, have an owner of a cannabis grower and cultivator in Michigan to talk about your experience and talk about your experiences. So, we want to really thank you for coming on. It's a big deal for us to get somebody out of Michigan to talk about their experience up there.
Totally. Yeah, no, it's a competitive industry, so we definitely learned a lot over the last 3 years. It's been fun.
So you've been doing this 3 years now?
Well, in truth, started getting the license in late 2017, got the actual license beginning of 2020. So we're just past 3 years now.
What was the license process like in Michigan? Because I know it varies state to state.
Yeah. So, initially it was quite different than what it is today. So now you just pretty much submit some forms and, as long as you cover the baseline, you're you don't have any serious felonies or whatever, then you can get a license at this point. But when I got into it, they actually put you up onto a panel. They had 5 different people, 2 of which I think were now just recently in the news found to be corrupt.
Wow.
Went to prison over that.
Really?
Yeah. But ironically, so that panel was to judge your moral character. And ironically, the one guy who voted against me was the guy who just went to prison.
Go figure.
How's that for a judge of moral character?
Yeah, right.
So, did I hear you right that in Michigan, because I know in some states they have limited number of licenses. In Michigan, are you saying that there are no limits on the number of licenses available?
Correct. It's wide open. So initially they made it so you had to be a caregiver for 2 years or employ a caregiver for 2 years, and you had to be a Michigan resident. But after I think year 1 and a half, year 2, they just went wide open.
Explain what caregiver.
Yep. So a caregiver was Michigan before. So I think 2011, Michigan actually legalized medical marijuana. And part of that program was caregivers. And the idea was that you had a person who was a grower who could grow 12 plants for 6 different people.
Maximum?
Maximum. So it was 12 times 6. So you had 72 plants to grow, basically.
Those plants get pretty big. So
People made it work for sure. And I mean, people were also maximizing plant size as a point. Whereas now, yes, we still are limited by plant count, but we have 2 Class C licenses, so we have 4,000 plants. So I grow much smaller plants now compared to them. I grow more plants in the same area.
And how many grow houses do you have, or grow area? I don't know if I'm using the right term. Grow areas that you have, are they all concentrated in one geographic area, or do you grow around the state?
No, really for management, because it's such an intensive process, makes sense to have it in one place. So we're all based in this one facility, which is in Manchester, which is about 15, 20 minutes southwest of Ann Arbor.
You Michigander your whole life?
Michigander my whole life. And in truth, went to, I grew up in Chelsea, 20 minutes west of Ann Arbor. Went to U of M for college, actually, which is in Ann Arbor.
So you're a smart guy.
Well, I don't know.
People don't go to University of Michigan unless they're really smart, man. That's a great school.
It's a really good school. I got a really good education. Went to school for chemical engineering there. But so I actually live on the west side of Ann Arbor now. And when I found out about the commercial licensing, I went for a drive, basically trying to find where would be a good spot to plop up a grow. It's not so easy. You have to have the townships approve it, actually. So you have to have this match of, does the property fit the township's description, and is this township actually in for it? And in the beginning days, very few townships were in for it. I actually ended up, no joke, finding the property was on foreclosure. I found a property that was literally in the state, still is closest grow to my actual residence. Wild how that works.
Andrew, I live about, Kevin even closer. I live within 3 miles of the border.
Yeah,
Okay.
like 500 feet from the border.
And in Mission Dispensaries, I know one of the higher ups there, great company, in fact, they're in Ann Arbor also, you know them.
Yep.
And in fact, they've been on the show here before. But in the early days of legalization in Illinois, it was just so easy to go to Cal City. But the fact is, when you go to Michigan and see what's offered in Michigan and you compare it to what's going on in Illinois, it's night and day. It's night and day. I think Michigan did it exactly the right way, and it's pro-consumer, which is what I like. In Michigan, you could literally go to dozens of places and buy marijuana, whereas on the south side of Chicago, there's literally 2 dispensaries.
Well, and I think that's the difference between like limited licensing in Illinois and massive licensing, or unlimited licensing, maybe the better way to put it, in Michigan. And that, and it's interesting, Tom, you said that, because I think you said you thought Michigan did it right from a consumer standpoint.
That's right.
But I'm curious, from Andrew's standpoint, if Michigan did it right from a distributor or a cultivator standpoint.
Well, let's be honest, guys. So we're in America. I thought everything was supposed to be free market, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So what's up with these, government forced monopolies in these other states?
That's exactly it.
It's inherently anti-consumer, and it's profit to the rich. So I'm not really sure that I can ever get down for that. I will say that for the business owners in Michigan, many of them, it has been very brutal for that same reason, because it is a total survival of the fittest, mentality going on. But at the same time, consumer votes with their dollar. So if you're putting out a superior product, then the cream always will rise to the top, will it not? The issue, though, comes in when you do have operators who might be putting out what might be a subpar product, but they have infinitely deep pockets. And so they're able to operate at a loss for way longer than really should, and essentially basically force out better operators.
Yeah, I was going to say they can drive out competition
That's what
over
happened.
time, and it's like you use I guess if you use like the hardware example, or maybe like the super Walmart example, that's what they did to like small hardware stores, right? The Menards of the world, or
Think
the
about my dad.
Home Depots of the world,
My
right?
dad
Your dad
went
had a
up-
dairy.
My dad jumped into the dairy business. It goes to the same thing you're talking about. He was up against the big guys. My dad, it was a small dairy, and literally all the big guys he was up against would sell milk at a loss just to drive him out of business. And then once he went out of business, they jacked up the price.
And like you said, that the product, the quality of the product may not matter at that point because they can outlast you. And so let me ask you, and I don't know if we covered this. You only cultivate. You don't. You grow. You don't have a retail establishment, correct, for Glacier?
Yeah, that's correct. So we're primarily focused on cultivation, which has been a conscious business decision from day one. You have a lot of operators who, they vertically integrate, and their primary focus was retail first and then do the rest later. But our idea is the foundation of this entire industry is the flower, and if you're not doing that right, then what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I read a little bit off your website. And by the way, great photos of some marijuana. That
They are, man. I was like drooling when I was looking at the pictures.
So John,
I found myself driving to Ann Arbor last night. So
he's like, I got to go find where this grow
Where
operation
is this mystical weed?
But I mean, I think that's one of the things I learned off your. And John's got a photo of it up right now.
They're
I don't know.
beautiful.
Is that enhanced, by the way?
God, they look gorgeous.
No, everything, yeah, this is proper. I mean, that's just what it is. Yep. Check out our Instagram at glacier.mi.
Hey, Andrew, what is it?
Let me make sure I get that. What was it, Andrew? The Instagram?
Glacier.mi. And unfortunately, Instagram shadow bans us, so you got to type it in as it is. They don't help you find us in any
Yeah,
way.
sorry, Tom. I didn't mean to cut you off.
What is it about Michigan weed that makes it so great? It's like, because you guys are growing it indoors, so like,
Right.
Is there any distinction between the weed that you buy in Illinois and the weed you buy in Michigan?
Well, I think it does boil down to, you said it, which is, the competition's high. Michigan loves weed. We've been doing it for a while. I think we're inherently set up to be an export state when that time comes, because Ohio's crippled itself, Illinois has crippled itself, Indiana's behind the ball, Wisconsin's behind the ball.
Yeah.
So, and I think, but through it all, though, even in Michigan, there still are what I would call boof factories, putting out a subpar product, boof. And I think, really it comes down to
Boof.
I like that.
Yep. So
See,
I think
We just proved we're 54 right there as soon as you said that. Kevin and I looked at each other. What did he say?
Yep. But yeah, no, I think really though, I mean, ultimately, I went to school for chemical engineering. You boil it down, and the chemistry is chemistry, right? People have been growing vegetables for how long? Nutrients are nutrients. There ain't much to it there. But this plant's very dynamic. Every strain's different. So there's a lot of nuances to it that if you don't really have that deep understanding of the plant and a passion for it, especially as these margins slim up further and further, there's just a lot of room for differentiation of, the quality of product.
So, all right. So you guys are Glacier's 3 years in, Andrew. How do you feel like if you said, 3 years ago, this is where I want to be? Have you gotten there? And then I guess second part of my question is, are you going to be able to withstand the big dogs coming after you? And where do you think you'll be 3 years from now?
Totally. So I will say that the market dropped out faster than expected, but absolutely where I want to be positioned as a brand, and our cost to produce because of what an efficient operation we run, the size we are, we're like mid-tier is what I would describe our size at. We're not super small. We're not super big. We're actually able to leverage the economy of scale, but maintain the quality. And we're actually, we're putting out what I call it the cleanest weed in the universe. I'd like somebody to show me otherwise. Our test results are always clean. And it's one of those things where we're putting it out at a very competitive price point that even the big dogs don't touch. So I feel really good about how our stake is. But my true enemy, unfortunately, is Uncle Sam's 280E tax. There's a very unfair tax law. Do you guys know about the 280E?
Do not.
Can I tell you about it a little bit?
Yeah, please.
Absolutely.
All right. So 280E basically says that if you are a cultivator or you are, involved in the illegal trade of drugs per se, that you don't get normal business write-offs. And so whereas you guys or anybody who has ever touched a business would, pay taxes on profit, we instead pay taxes on total revenue.
That sucks,
Wow.
man. That sucks.
I call it tax prison. There is a point where you might be selling and end up owing Uncle Sam more than you even brought in.
That sucks.
That is amazing. I got to look into that.
That's
280E.
crazy.
280E. So really, we talk about the big dogs, we talk about the corporate big dogs. They're actually suffering from this same thing at the end of the day. And you can look at some of the biggest companies, Curaleaf, whatever, look at their last year's numbers. Literally, some of them are losing hundreds of millions of dollars. And, Uncle Sam's getting paid fat all along the way.
Let me ask you a question, Andrew,
Yeah.
because you said a couple things, and I got questions in my head more than we got time.
Yep.
I heard an interesting stat, and then you said something earlier that triggered it in me. I heard that at one point, I grew up in California, so I know you and I both have that in common as well. I also have a place in Michigan, by the way, so we have a lot in common.
We're related.
Up in Boyd, yeah, right. But I heard a stat when I was in California that California had more weed surplus than everybody in the state of California could smoke in an entire year. The reason being is because they couldn't take all that weed that they're growing and ship it outside of California. So they're drowning in weed there, right? Yeah. And then you said something earlier that triggered this also. I think this is somewhat of a similar situation in Michigan and all these states where weed is legal. When Uncle Sam finally does get their shit together and legalize weed across America, Indiana, we missed the train, right? You're just gonna
from a cultivator standpoint.
As far as like assets, nobody's gonna build any weed infrastructure in Indiana. They're just gonna flood us with the weed that's in Michigan and California, right?
I would assume so. It really depends on how the legalization goes, though, on the other hand, because, you have to wonder, is it going to be full-blown export, allow the interstate, or will states really, might they not actually want that? And will it be more like they did with hemp, where they left it to be state by state, or look at how alcohol is, and it's state by state with that. And so you have to wonder how it'll go, but if there is export, which I see in a lot of ways, especially because California needs that to happen, and California obviously has more sway than anybody.
Right.
I think that you inherently will have some states that, are by default. Michigan would be one that would export because, like you said, it just doesn't make sense. An indoor facility is an indoor facility. Once they're built, why build another one?
Why build another one, right?
Doesn't make sense. No.
So are you still working in all cash because of the federal laws?
No, luckily, actually, this is how it's funny that, okay, they've got this tax law, right, and they do you there, but they did actually make provisions where we can bank.
Okay.
So gave the banks a set of rules to follow. They have to do more auditing, more reporting and whatnot, but we work with Dart Bank and we have full access to banking. We can do ACH transfers like normal, but we can't do any credit cards, no Visa, no MasterCards, because they won't touch it.
So you mean as a consumer, you can't buy Glacier with credit cards?
No, you have to use cash, right?
Cash only.
Yeah, both sides. Yeah.
Right.
So
okay, got it.
Right.
Rounds that companies find for a time where they do some ATM thing or something, but they get quickly shut down.
Yeah, Illinois had something for a little bit where you could buy a card, like preloaded card, and you could use that.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Man, dude, you know a lot of crap. Did you ever picture yourself? I mean, you're a young guy. I'm gonna estimate in young 30s.
Yeah, I'm 34. Yep.
Okay, which is great age, by the way.
Yeah, thank
You're
you.
very lucky. I was 34 when I was elected mayor, but like I'm looking at you and I'm like, you're living my dream, dude. You're the boss. You're working in marijuana, which is a burgeoning industry. Did you ever picture when you're 16-year-old sitting there that this was going to be your life?
Dude, I'll tell you. I mean, it's crazy even in my short time because I mean I grew up in the drug war, right? I mean, so see it where it's at now and how fast it happened.
It did.
Never believed it, but no, I mean I was growing up and in school I was my whole intention I actually wanted to be a professor in academia. That was the whole goal. I never thought I'd do any business type stuff.
I could see that, Andrew. You're like a professor. I could see that. You would have been great, and you are great.
Oh, yeah.
Organic chem. You just teach.
Yep. I go deep on it. But, literally, big thing is just, at the end of the day, really following my passion, like you said, and doing what I love. And sometimes you got to start business and you got to do this kind of stuff to do what you want to do. And, we've been off, people ask me, what would you sell your company for? It's like, I don't know, because at the end of the day, I just want to come back and do what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's about money, it's about loving what you do.
Well, before we let you go, I wanted to give you a chance to do a little, commercial and plug for Glacier. Can you, there's a lot of Hoosier consumers that hop up the border, along 94 and along, New Buffalo, Sawyer, along that area. Where can you buy Glacier cannabis in Michigan, in Southwest Michigan?
Totally.
And number one, and then secondly, I want to know your favorite strain that you smoke.
Awesome. Yeah, so somebody who we work with really large actually in Niles is Green Stem Provisioning. So they're a good one to go to, and they carry our full line of products, and they're always getting fresh drops from us. But you can actually go to www.glaciercanna.com/drops, and we update that every time there's a fresh drop at any location in the state.
That's super cool.
We have locations in Buchanan, etc. But you asked what my favorite strain to smoke is. And it's actually the strain, and we actually hunt all of our own. We do a lot of seed pops. We'll bring clones off the market and stuff, but this is one that we popped. The name of it's Cold Snap, which is surprisingly fitting to the brand.
Mm-hmm.
It's got this incredible taste to it that's unlike anything else. And that, for me, is what I always remember when I smoke weed. There's those times when you get super high, oh, yeah, but you probably forget about those in all honesty.
Yeah.
So really, it's what taste do you remember? What leaves your lips smacking? And Cold Snap does it for me.
Awesome.
I'm proud of you, man. Good job. A great interview. Super young guy, super successful, living the dream, man. It's good stuff, Andrew. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Andrew. We appreciate it, man.
And thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah, man. Left of Center Pod, we're in awe of you, and we appreciate you coming on 420 and telling us a little bit about the industry you work in. It's really interesting. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you, Andrew, President and CEO of Glacier Cannabis.
Thanks, man.
Oh, you fucking clicked it, man. Shit, that was... Oh, sorry.
What?
What just happened?
We're going to edit that out, right?
You're supposed to be in the business.
Wasn't that the plan?
I'm not in the business. We're on break right now. That was the plan.
Okay.
That was just so sudden, dude. I was going to talk to him.
Remember, you're like, we don't even ignore that now.
You're right. John was right. I was wrong. See, I'm not in.
All right, well, wait. So, John, you'll cut this. So, why don't
No.
That's too
We're
good
gonna
to
roll.
cut. Yeah, we're
All right,
gonna
well,
have to.
then wrap us up then.
That was a
Locomotive.
good. That was a good interview.
Really interesting, John. Right?
Great interview.
Yeah, dude. I want to get his phone number so I can reach out and say thank you
Yep.
because that was a great interview.
Kyle, what'd you think?
What'd you think?
Amazing.
Kyle,
Right?
whoop, Kyle in the house.
Kyle's
Kyle's
real.
in that house. I know.
Kyle's for
What's up,
real.
Kyle? How's it going, buddy?
Kyle Cam.
Thanks.
Great.
Yeah, thanks for
Great interview.
thanks for all the help. We appreciate it. That was a great interview.
That was awesome.
And he said he wanted to be a professor. I'm like, yeah, I can
You
see
can
that.
see it.
Dude.
I mean, that's why he's so successful. You can see the guy is just passionate about what he does. He's a smart guy,
Yeah.
and he's successful. He's focused, man.
Dude, that was
the
a good
guy is
interview.
focused.
Good
It was
job.
great. So
that was a
thank you.
fist bump. That was Kevin's. That was Kevin's.
Well, actually, through a
Through
friend of ours that's
Tom
an
Kuhn.
investor. Yeah. So
Tom
it's-
Kuhn. Thank
yeah.
you, Tom. Thank you, Kevin. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, Vez,
Mm-hmm.
for lining that up. Thanks to everybody for listening to our Season 9 premiere. Yes, we've been doing this 9 seasons.
Not 9 years, but it just feels.
You
like
just
it.
say 9 seasons.
All right, 9
But
seasons.
Our Season 9 premiere, our 420 episode. I am incredibly straight right now because I'm sitting in the studio right now in Indiana where it is not legal to celebrate 420 Day. They will throw my ass in the slammer if I celebrate 420. So
They're watching.
I'm
you.
sitting here, looking at people like
sober
Andrew.
as a judge.
Sober as a judge. But thanks for listening to the 420 episode, Season 9 premiere. We'll be back on the air normally. I know this is a Thursday, but we're going to be back on Tuesdays and Fridays as normal. Starting at 7:30 on Tuesday, April 25th, Season 9, Episode 2. So we got back a lot to look forward to. It's great to be back on the air. We missed you guys. We love you. And we'll see you on Tuesday. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, Kyle. Thanks, Vaz. Lindsay couldn't be here today because she's a nurse, and nurses and marijuana do not mix well. And Jill's not here today also because Jill,
Yeah, she's a Friday.
she's a city worker, and city workers and marijuana do not mix well. Never mind. We'll talk about John later. So thanks, everybody, for listening on 420. We love you. Thanks for coming back to Lockpod. We'll see you on Tuesday. Lockpod is out.